Greetings, Galactic Jedis, freedom fighters, patriots, and all of the good people that are on here today. Welcome, welcome. Today is, what is it, January 4th, 2024. We are officially heading into the positive timeline. I do want to welcome all the new people that are in the house. Thank you so much for following me. Don't forget to subscribe. And for those that don't know me, I am the author of those amazing books back there. I always do this back there, titled The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and of course, Our Cosmic Origin, revealing information that was withheld from general public for a long time. I do want to talk about some important things that have occurred, especially more info regarding the Cybertruck that exploded near the Trump hotel. And I also want to talk about the sentencing. Obviously, the deep state does not want to go out without a fight. And so he is scheduled for sentencing on the 10th of January, 10 days before the inauguration, but it's not going to happen. I mean, yes, it's going to happen, but it's not going to prevent him from becoming president. They already made it clear that he is not going to be going to jail or anything like that. For those that are on here, I want to extend gratitude for being here on my live. Thank you so much. And also for those that watch it on the replay, thank you so much for watching this. Without you guys, I wouldn't have an audience, and therefore I wouldn't be able to go live at night when I do. So I'm back on my regular schedule: Monday night White Hat Report, Wednesday night live, and then of course Saturday night live. So here we are once again, and a few announcements before I get into the info. Yeah, I'm going to be attending the Conscious Life Expo this coming February, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And I'm also going to be there Monday. I'm going to be sitting on 3 panels. I'm going to be sitting on the Galactic Federation panel. I'm going to also be sitting on the Earth Ascension panel. And I'm also going to be sitting on Breaking the Matrix panel. For those that go to the Conscious Life Expo, it's going to be an interesting, fabulous event where people from all over the world come, of like-minded individuals come and partake in a weekend event where we get to share knowledge, new holistic integrative technologies, and much more. Also on a Sunday, I'm going to be doing my lecture, my presentation, that's going to be titled Transmuting the AI Timeline, excuse me, and Co-Creating the New Earth. I'm going to be presenting in the Rabbit Hole Room from 10 a.m. to about 11:30 a.m. in the morning. So if you guys come to the Conscious Life Expo, make sure you guys attend my presentation. It's going to be mind-blowing. I'm also going to be adding the link, because my book, Our Cosmic Origin, where is it at? Over here, is up for an award. So for those that have already voted, thank you so much for doing so. For those that haven't had a chance to vote for my book, I'm going to go ahead and provide the link in the description so that you guys could vote after the live. Now, before I begin today's live, I do want to make a date in reference, relate an event that took place in 1948. Burma granted independence. On this day in 1948, the Southeast Asian nation of Burma formally gained independence completely. The transfer of power negotiated by Burmese leader Aung San and British Prime Minister Clement Attlee in 1947. So that's another thing that took place. Also, on this very day in the year 1643, now if we go back in time, Isaac Newton, the physicist and mathematician, and the founder of what we call today reductionism, right? This is the reason why there is a controlled academia that do not want to accept the new evidence coming from the quantum physics, right? From the new evidence, from the new found science known as quantum physics. They want to lock us into this materialism. Well, we could say that all of this philosophy and all of this scientific, you could say, dogma, let's just call it scientific dogma, because even the scientific community has become dogmatic, just like organized religion, right? They only accept certain rules and principles within an accepted framework that has been, included by a community of scientists. Like, reminds me of the Council of Nicaea. But anyways, we're here to break all of that. We're here to merge science and spirituality as it was during the days of Atlantis and as it will be during the age of Aquarius as we do enter a new age. Now, I also wanted to clarify some of the information that I talked about on my last live. Was it Wednesday night when I was talking about some revelations and some of the predictions that were coming forth from not only the galactics, but from also ancient seers and visionaries such as Nostradamus, as well as Edgar Casey and the blind Bulgarian, not Russian, Bulgarian. Is it Vaga Baba? I think that's her name, Vaga. In either case, they all agreed that 2025 was going to be the year in which artificial intelligence was going to be rolled out, right? So I've never agreed with artificial intelligence, guys. This is part of the negative timeline. And just because they're going to roll out artificial intelligence, it is going to coexist for a while with a positive timeline. But what's going to split those realities, right, where the AI timeline goes into a different route and the positive timeline goes into another route, is going to be the great solar flash. The great solar flash is going to act as an EMP that is going to nuke the circuits of the cybernetic intelligence that is going to be rolled out by no other than big tech and, of course, Elon Musk, who is the Trojan horse. Now, bear in mind that I did receive some intel as to why Donald Trump is allowing Elon to get close and giving him a chance to be part of his administration. It turns out that the White Hats are very well aware of Elon's, AI intentions and his idea of creating some sort of an electromagnetic cloud in which, eventually they're going to want to hook people up to. Very similar to what we saw in the movie Terminator. They call it Skynet, right? They are very well aware of that. So in this situation, they are actually keeping him close to them. Okay, so that's the reason why they've opened the doors to Elon Musk, but they're going to be monitoring him very well. They're not going to give him all that much of the power. And just to let you guys know, he was approached by the CIA years ago in order to develop the Starlink satellite systems, which is going to be used by the cabal in order to take over the airwaves during the 10 days of darkness. Okay. It's going to be used by the White Hats. My God, I've had a long day today. Starlink, right, is going to be used by the White Hats to take over the airwaves and broadcast and, of course, bring the cabal to justice and expose the cabal. So they did sign some sort of, he was hired by the CIA to build out the new satellite system. But as far as Neuralink is concerned and the chips and the implants, that stuff, the White Hats are very aware of. Even Commander Valiant Thor, who is from Venus, I did correct myself last time, he's not from Mars, who is from Venus, is very aware of. And so there are initiating some sort of measures in order to make sure that Elon Musk does not go full force with the idea of connecting everybody to the cloud, right? The artificial cybernetic cloud. So I just wanted to point that out, all right? That yes, 2025 is going to be a year of disclosure where time is going to speed up, right? It's going to be like 15, 20 years collapse into 1 year. It's almost like things are going to be compressed. And so a lot of things are going to be happening this year. So we have to be grounded. We have to be ready because overall, everything is being orchestrated by God. You have to understand that God is in control, the Almighty, whatever you want to call it, by many names, genderless, by the way. But overall, this whole plan is being orchestrated by the one infinite intelligence. So in the end, the righteous are going to go into the positive organic timeline, and the wicked are going to be going into the negative technocratic dystopia. So, all right, so let's get to business really quick. All right, so let's start with what's happening and with the the sentencing of Donald Trump on the 10th of this month. So Mr. Trump did write a letter to all of his people indicating that every legal scholar and pundit, including the highly respected and sadly recently passed David Rifkin, as well as Jonathan Turley, Ellie Koenig, Andy McCarthy, Alan Dershowitz, Greg Jarrett, Elizabeth Price Foley, Katie and Andy Shirkowski, Paul Ingracia, and many others have unequivocally stated that the Manhattan DA's witch hunt, because that's what it is, it's a witch hunt, right? It's all politicized in order to prevent him from coming back into power, is a non-existing case, okay? Which is not only bared by the statute of limitation, but on the merits should never have been brought. This illegitimate political attack is nothing but a rigged charade, according to Trump. This is what he tweeted. Acting Justice Merchant, who is a radical partisan, just issued another order that is knowingly unlawful, that goes against our Constitution, and if allowed to stand, would be the end of the presidency as we know it. Merchant has so little respect for the Constitution. I guess Merchant is a cabal, that he is keeping in place an illegal gag order on me, your president, and of course, president-elect, just so I can expose his and his family's disqualification and illegal conflicts. I am the only political opponent in American history not allowed to defend myself. A despicable First Amendment violation. This is coming from 45, soon to be 47 himself. He says, I am being sentenced in 6 days, okay? I must be allowed to continue the presidential transition process unobstructed by an unlawful witch hunt. So please, if you're reading this, which I am reading it to you guys, a message from Trump, it means I want you to stand with me and demand they drop all charges. So that is a message from Donald Trump. And then there is another thing I wanted to share with you guys. So I don't know if you guys are aware of what's of the new intel that resurfaced regarding the Cybertruck explosion that took place last week, I believe. So this is an interesting, you could say, this is coming from T.Y. Lomas. Interesting PSA concerning Sean Ryan and MK Ultra. They believe the guy was under MK Ultra, and he was a Green Beret, which is a high position in the military. The latest Sean Ryan tweets smell funny to me. He says, anyone else questioning this narrative and continuation of the New Orleans, Vegas, and Fort Bragg psyops? That's not the thing I wanted to read. 1 second, guys. God, I had it handy earlier, and all of a sudden it went away. Oh my gosh. Let's see. 1 second here. Oh, here it is. This is what I wanted to read. Okay, so this is coming from the Shadow of Ezra. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Shadow of Ezra, but the Shadow of Ezra is also reporting intel from the White Hat community. So on December 31st, retired U.S. Army intelligence officer Sam Schumate received an email alleged from Matthew Livensberger, the man later identified as the perpetrator behind the Tesla Cybertruck explosion at Trump Tower. The email arrived just 1 day before the detonation outside of Trump Tower in Las Vegas and said the following: a warning about gravity propulsion technology linked to drones frequently seen along the East Coast. Claims of China launching these mysterious drones from submarines for years with a noticeable switch just recently. Prediction of an imminent Chinese attack on the U.S. East Coast. He alleged that the FBI or Homeland Security were tracking him, planning to apprehend him before he could escape to Mexico. He revealed that he had a car bomb inside his Tesla Cybertruck. And there's a funny name for that. I forget what he said, though. That was an interesting interview, by the way. He accused the U.S. government of committing war crimes and in Afghanistan in 2019, including the killing of civilians. He believed exposing this information to the public was critical to preventing a world war. Okay, interesting. So here we go. More intel regarding the Cybertruck atrocity and how it's connected to the events that also took place in New Orleans. There is a connection there. Now, some of you are probably thinking, is this being done by the deep state in order to thwart the coming of the new administration? And the answer to that is yes. The answer to that is yes, absolutely. There are these things called sleeper cells. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys know about the sleeper cells. Okay, so it turns out that a lot of the illegals that have been flooding the States and Europe, not just the States, are actually under MK Ultra. They're under CIA mind control. And so due to the fact that these sleeper cells might become activated sometime between now and the 20th, between now and the inauguration, could create a little chaos, but also bear in mind that the White Hats are going to use that as an excuse to execute the emergency broadcast system and, of course, the White Hat military in order to arrest all of these sleeping cells. Okay, so in the event, guys, that between now and the 20th of January, in the event that we see more, events like what happened in Vegas, right, next to Trump Tower, and what happened in New Orleans, and we start seeing tons of these events happening, just bear in mind that these are sleeper cells that are being activated by the globalists, but really by the negative AI that is in turn controlling the globalists. Whoa, it's getting hot in here. Give me a second, guys. So, the White Hats and the Galactics are very, very well aware of the tactics and the final, shenanigans that could be implemented by what's left of the cabal in their attempt to thwart the inauguration of Mr. T. I might as well just call this Sunday night White Hat update. It seems like I've been talking about Mr. T and what's happening with the deep state. Normally I give a galactic report on Saturday night, but today it seems like, you guys need to know what's happening. You guys need to know, you guys need to be aware, you guys need to be prepared for the implementation of the EBS, the 10 Days of Darkness, because it sounds like that they might try to they might try to execute some sort of sleeper cell activation that could literally, allow the current administration to take full control and full power and therefore throw to the inauguration. But it's not going to happen, guys. All right. It's not going to happen because the White Hats are very well aware of the sleeper cells, and they are going to make sure that no negative event like that. I hate to use the word that starts with a T. All right. I hate to use that word here on Fluff Tooth, but I will be speaking in PG terms. So anything that might happen between now and the 20th, it's best to be prepared, have 2 weeks worth of food supply and water, because if anything goes down, just know that this is going to give the White Hat military the reason, right, the opportunity to definitely execute some sort of 10 days of darkness. Everybody stay home. We are going to go and arrest all of these sleeper cells and just take them out, right? Take them out. So we have nothing to worry about. Mr. T is very well aware of this. The Galactics are very well of this. In fact, the Galactics are actually monitoring the sleeper cells. Believe it or not, the Galactics have technology devices where they are able to keep track of every move, every intent, and through advanced technologies, even read their thoughts before they implement anything. Okay, so they do have advanced technologies where they are going to literally know exactly what these sleeper cells are going to do next. So we have nothing to worry about, but everything to be grateful for, because again, 2025 is going to give us a lot of revelations, a lot of disclosures. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a year to remember. The Galactics are actually calling 2025 the year of transition, the great year of transition. And what that means is that we are getting ready to end an epoch, right? An age, and begin a new era here on this planet, which is going to be wonderful. So, Commander Valiant Thor, Commander Cortec, Commander Soltec, and Commander Georges Sidis Hatan, as well as the Ashtart command fleets, they are all in key position, guys. They're all in key position, making sure that there is nothing that is going to thwart not only the geopolitical plan of the White Hats from coming into place, but also the what is known as the interplanetary plan of the galactic. So the plan is a multidimensional plan. It's not just a plan that is permanent to the Earthlings, but it's also a plan that is permanent to the different civilizations that exist within the Earth, right, and also in the oceans, and of course the different civilizations that exist all throughout our solar system, right? There are different stations and interplanetary infrastructures where there are many ET races um, uh, collaborating and coexisting with humans within the secret space program that are part of this treaty. It's called an interplanetary plan, and all of this has a lot to do with the Jupiter, of course, accords that I mentioned last time, of course, with the Earth Accords and the Artemis Accords, which are treatises, alliances between the Earth delegates and, of course, the Galactic Alliance. So we have really nothing to worry about. Everything is being monitored. We're going to have a smooth transition, but yes, bear in mind that we might see a little bit more, we might see a little bit more sleeper cells doing their thing due to the fact that they are going to be activated, but at the same time, they're going to be met with countermeasures. So it's not going to be like where, they managed to take out a lot of innocent lives, you could say. But, I wouldn't actually do much for the next 15 days until the inauguration. I would probably not travel, stay away from the airports. There's still a lot of reports where they even had to shut down certain airports due to the drones that have been flying over these airports. Okay, some of these drones, guys, are not ours. Okay, some of these drones belong to the CCP, which of course is working in collaboration with the Brandon administration. So it's best to just stay home and don't do much. Don't travel for the next 16 days until the 20th, until Trump is fully secured in the White House. Okay, that is my message for you guys today. And is there anything else that I wanted to share? Yeah, I'm going to save the rest for White Hat Monday. There's a lot of information that I wanted to share, but I could only share what I can right now. Let's see. Do we have any questions? And now, before I take some questions, I do want to welcome Rosanna Belando, Kim, Jill Hunt, Edward, David. Let me put on my glasses. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to give shout outs to people that I've never give shout outs to. Joanna, Kathy Kirk, Chris J, Lee Starr, Karusu Sifu. Let's see. Chi-Chi, RM, Sasha Lee, Photon, Spiritual Ascension, Larry Hansen. Oh my God, the chat is going so fast. It's just going so fast. I can't even read your names now. Donna, Chris Stefu, Margarita Doricher. Let's see. I'm trying to call out people's names that I've never called out before. Carol, who else is in the house? And all 2,236 people that are in the house. Welcome, welcome. All right. Juan Whiternack is in the house. Whiternack. Welcome, Juan. Welcome, welcome. And your question is, thank you so much for your information. If we are in the fifth dimension, will our Sims charitable projects help folks in the third dimension? Yes, because all of the fourth and the fifth dimension, which are associated with the positive timeline, are going to coexist, where people from the fifth dimension are going to be able to go a step down into the fourth dimension. And so that's where the economy, the new quantum financial system, is going to exist. However, in the fifth dimension, there is no economy. So eventually we're heading into a world where there is no economy, guys. where we literally just, create instantaneously through our thoughts, anything that we need, manifesting at the speed of light. That's the type of world that we are heading into. Oh, another correction that I wanted to make about the QFS. Okay, so I was able to actually talk to the Galactic Council about the biometric system that I shared with you guys last time. And they told me that that is not going to happen in the positive timeline, that is another tactic that is going to be implemented by no other than Elon Musk when people shift into the negative technocratic dystopian timeline. So in the positive timeline, we're not going to get no chips. We're not going to have no DNA reading. In fact, the QFS is going to be a conscious quantum, you could say, living system that is going to directly read our energy. All right. So there's going to be no biometric system, none of that stuff. I just wanted to clarify that, because a lot of people are leaving comments saying, I don't want to give away my DNA to the quantum financial system, and that's not going to be the case. So I just wanted to clarify that. Cosmic Zeal is in the house. Thank you so much for the super chat. Your question is, what can we do if we think our divine masculine or feminine might be falling behind on the co journey? Is it possible for people to fall and miss the boat altogether this far in the game due to ego? Well, let me answer the first part of your question. So if you think that your divine counterpart is not evolving, right? If you don't think that they're ascending, the best thing to do is just, I would definitely just put them in a bubble of protection, or her if it's a she, through your spiritual practices, through your meditation. Send them energy, constantly send them energy, so that you could reach their subconscious mind and hopefully get them up to speed or up to pace, so that way they could ascend when the solar flash takes place. But if for whatever reason your partner is not matching the frequency of the new earth, then it's probably meant for you and your partner to not be together in the 50 until your partner is ready to ascend on his own, because we also have to respect free will. Everybody has free will. So you could only do so much. You could pray for that person. You could send your energy. You could uplift them as much as possible. Be there for them unconditionally. But overall, it is up to them, because they are their own individual person, and they have to make that choice for themselves. Okay? Because if you try to do anything to, you could say, force them into, or try to intervene, then you could create some bad karma for yourself. So it's best to just leave it at that, and just have, just know that when the time is right, your partner will eventually elevate to the reality that you end up going into. Hopefully that made a lot of sense. And the second part of your question, is it possible for people to miss the boat? Absolutely. Absolutely. If all of a sudden they become narcissistic, they become, service to self, egoistic, they start doing bad things, then chances are is that they're not going to go into the new earth. So that is also correct. Welcome, Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is asking me a question. Can you discuss the halls of Amenti? Also, would you interview with Darius J. Wright on your show? Let me answer the first question. So the halls of Amenti. Well, as you guys know, our universe consists of 12 portals, or 12 interdimensional doorways that have access to the different realms, all the way from the Earth to the 12th dimensional sphere of reality. And the halls of Amenti are the gateways to that. So that's what the halls of Amenti are. And believe it or not, the original Terranusian 12-strand angelic race that was created 500 million years ago here on this planet, when our planet was living in the 5th dimension, before it fell into the 3rd dimension, were given the responsibility as guardians to the halls of Amenti and the 12 interdimensional doorways. So one of the reasons why the Anunnaki came 500,000 years ago was to obstruct that and to intervene in that, because the Anunnaki wanted access to the halls of Amenti. But in order to have access to the halls of Amenti, you have to have 12 strands of DNA already fully installed. Unfortunately for the Anunnaki, they only had up to 11 strands. So we have the 12 strands. We have the keys to unlock all 12 dimensional portals. And yes, the halls of Amenti do exist here on planet Earth. Darius J. Wright, I've never heard of him. I'm going to have to look him up. I do have another question. Oh, I think I've already answered that question. Yes, our pets are going with us with the solar flash. Absolutely. They will be with us in the new Earth. That is correct. Ishmael, if you smoke or vape, will that prevent you from ascending to the fourth D? Oh, let me rewind a little bit. Chat's going a little too fast. Or the fifth dimension, even if you're completely awake and are a good person? No, it shouldn't prevent you. And that also goes for the people that drink occasionally. If you're doing it because you're an addict, it's going to be very hard to go into the fifth dimension. But if you do it, but you're also doing it for spiritual reasons, right? Like the Indians, like the natives, the Navajo, and the Aboriginals, then chances are is that you are going to go into the fifth dimension. So no, it's not going to prevent you from ascending. Not at all. Now, if you're using like heavy substances, then, yes, it could definitely, you could say, halt your ascension. Hi, Ishmael. Where are my daughters who passed in 2019? This is a question from Karen Goldie. Welcome, Karen Goldie, and other relatives. What are they doing this time? Well, if they were at least generally good people, chances are is that they're probably already in the new Earth. If they were an old soul, chances are is they're probably in the 50th Earth. If there were a young soul, but they were good, they are probably in the the fourth Earth. So, in other words, you will see them again. I'm going to answer a question from people that I've never answered before. I'm going to give other people a chance. All right, so this is a question from Jana Rodriguez. Welcome, Jana Rodriguez. Can you quit anything that enslaves you? Just ask Father Abba, Joshua, Holy Spirit to help you. And oh, that's not a question. So you're giving the answer to a prior question, I see. Yes, that is so true. You could quit anything. If you feel like you're addicted to something, whether it's cigarettes or booze, you could definitely ask God, the Holy Spirit, Joshua, or really just your higher self, because your higher self is the Christ, remember that, to help you and bind and rebuke all urges in Joshua's name. That is true. That is absolutely correct. And there is power in the name of Joshua, by the way, guys. There is power in the name of Joshua. Are we going to see Nasera before the Flash? I would say yes. This is a question coming from Kim Rakowski. Kim Rakowski. EMP is coming up all day. EMP is coming up all day. What exactly does this mean? This is a question from Sanatha. Sanatha, again, I'm trying to answer questions that I've never answered before and also pick on people that I've never picked before. So I want to give everybody a fair chance here. So let's see, EMP is coming up all day. What exactly does this mean? And what do you think about when this will happen? Thank you. Well, the EMP, again, the whole purpose of this great solar flash is to nullify and completely dismantle the AI infrastructure, because AI could only be operational through electricity. So that's why we need a nuke an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse coming from God, from the great central sun, through our sun into the earth, that will act as a neutralizer to the AI, the electromagnetic iCloud that is being built right now through big tech. So that is important, right? But also at the same time, understand that the EMP, or this electromagnetic, this burst of energy coming from our sun, is also going to act as a trigger to the activation of the 10 strands of DNA, giving us access to our full capacity when it happens. So we're definitely all going to be upgraded. When will this happen? I don't know. But it looks like there might be a probability, due to the fact that we are reaching what is known as solar maximum sometime in March and April. That's when we reach the peak of this 11-year solar sun cycle, where we reach solar maximum. So yeah, just always be ready, guys, and be ready, because it can happen in the next few months. All right, so I've never answered this person's question. Again, I'm trying to give other people an opportunity. So this is a question from Belkis Saicedo. Belkis Saicedo. Welcome, Belkis Saicedo. Your question is, if our teens are not into our spiritual practices, would they ascend dimensions with us parents? I would have to say yes. Yes. Even if they are not awakened or old souls, as long as they're good people, they will make the ascension. Absolutely. All right, so this is a question that I've never answered. I'm going to go ahead and pin it. This is a question coming from Fire Sign. Ishmael, if Trump is a time traveler, then wouldn't he, oops, almost lost it here. Then wouldn't we have seen Elon betray him in the picture before he actually does, especially since you say he's a double agent? The answer to that is yes. And again, have you ever heard of the saying, you keep your friends close, but you keep your enemies closer? So that's why Trump is keeping Elon really close to him, but he is using his genius to at least audit all the illegal spending that the federal government did, since the Brandon administration came into power. So the Whiteheads are definitely using Elon for his genius, but at the same time, they're very well aware of his betrayal. So yes, due to time travel, the Whiteheads know exactly what's going to be happening. Good question, by the way. Michael's asking a question. I don't think I've ever answered any of your questions. This is coming from, I thought I just pinned it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Michael Sainval. Michael Sainval. Welcome, Michael. And your question is, what is the medbed? What if the medbed, I think that's what you're trying to say. What if the medbed comes before the solar flash? That could be a probability. That could be a probability, or it could all happen at the same time. I'm not sure. But all I know is that all of that is to be expected this year, okay? This is the year of transition, guys. Again, this is coming from the Galactics. 2025 is the year of transition. All right, this is another person that I've never answered. Hello, Ishmael. Have the ancient Anunnaki, such as Zeus, Orest, etc. Zeus, Orest, etc., incarnated in a human form at this time. Thank you for all you do. No, Zeus was never arrested. Actually, Zeus was the good guy. All right, those Sumerian tablets were inverted. The one that was arrested, or again, I'm sorry, he flee arrest, but they were trying to arrest him, was Enki. Enki is now a cyborg. So Zeus was never arrested. In fact, Zeus and Krishna and the heroes of old, or the gods of old, the guardians of old, let's just call them the guardians of all, they all left to fight against the war in the war against the AI god. That's where they all went. If you guys could excuse me, give me about a minute. I do have to put my laundry in the dryer. Again, I live in an apartment complex where if you don't put your laundry in the dryer and somebody wants to use the laundry, they will literally just get your clothes and just put it on top of the dirty dryer. So let me go ahead and do that. Once I'll be right back in a minute. All right, guys, I am back. Thank you for being patient. Oh, maybe I should try to do laundry earlier in the day, but anyways, I get so busy and I can only do laundry in the evening. So yeah, to answer your question, Enki was the bad guy. He was the one that the Galactic Councils were trying to arrest for his crimes against humanity, and of course, his crimes against the Galactic Council. Now, there's been more intel that was actually given to me right now as I was doing my laundry regarding the cyber attacks. So, just in, FBI investigating Cybertruck bombers manifesto claiming New Jersey drones are breakthrough gravitic propulsion aircraft launched by China. Okay. Liversberger claimed access to UAP unacknowledged special access program, saying only the USA and China have access to this technology. So this just came in right now as I speak. Breaking news: Cybertruck Bomber Manifesto, New Jersey drones are breakthrough China propulsion technology. China is posed to attack anywhere in the East Coast. Livingberger said he was followed by the FBI before his death and had an active TSSOW UAP unacknowledged SASP axis. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Going back to Q&A. Welcome, Tom. Tom Marquet. Welcome, welcome. Please teach about replicators. What is a replicator? The fuller breadth of what replicators can do. Are they available in the fourth dimension? And within what higher dimensions are replicators no longer useful? Good question, Tom. So the best way to describe replicators is 3D printing on steroids. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Hitchhiker of the Galaxy, or Hitchhike to the Galaxy. I think that's called Hitchhiker to the Galaxy. Anyways, the replicators have access to free energy to the point where whatever you want to materialize, all you do is type it in. And this is a type of technology that will literally materialize whatever you type in within minutes. So that's the best way to describe a replicator. It is a device that is connected to zero-point energy, allowing the materialization of anything from a car to a house to a cheesecake to a clothing item, whatever you want. You type it into this machine or into this device, and literally that device, which is connected to zero-point energy, will literally materialize whatever you want within minutes. So yes, replicators are definitely a stepping stone from the quantum financial system into a world where there will be no need for money anymore, because eventually you are going to be using your own inner technology. So this is going to be happening in the fifth dimension, where you won't no longer be using external technology. You will be the technology, right? You will be using your own inner technology to manifest at the speed of light. But in the meanwhile, we're definitely going to be seeing the rollout of replicators in the 4D reality. In the 4D reality. I think it's called, God, it's a movie. It's a comedy. Oh, it's called High. I think it's called High Hitcher's Guide to the Galaxy. Let me look it up. It's a movie that I just seen in the last few days, and it's very, very good. It's called anyways, it's one of those comedies, right? that it's about space travel. And anyways, it's a movie that I seen the last month, and they give you a perfect example of what a replicator is. So that's what a replicator is. It is a device that is connected to zero-point energy, where it acts like 3D printing, but on steroids, where whatever you type in, it literally materializes whatever it is that you want at the speed of light. Okay, at the speed of light. Now, they have been using replicators in these off-world programs. The SSP has had them for over 80 years, and that is one of the ways in which they were able to transport materials and technologies from Earth to Mars through the jump gates. They were able to use replicators, right? They would materialize things here on the Earth, and then they would use the jump gates to transfer the things over to their off-world colonies. All right, let's answer another question. Kentucky Pride. Oh, I remember the name of the movie. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you guys want to look it up, it's called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It'll give you a perfect example of what a replicator is. All right, so this is a question from Kentucky Pride. Thank you so much for the super chat. Is it necessary to get baptized again if you were baptized when you were born? Also, religious leaders close to Trump are giving him bad advice. Does he know this? All right, so let me answer the first part of your question. Is it necessary to get baptized again when you have been baptized? Um, you know, Baptism is a religious ritual. You don't necessarily have to get baptized, right? Technically, you don't need religion to be connected to God, to your higher self, but that is totally up to you. That is totally up to you. If you feel like you need to get baptized, hey, more power to you. So it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, but just know that it is not necessary, right? Because we were all born connected to God, right? We were disconnected from God when we were indoctrinated as an early as a kid, right? In our early youth. So you don't need anything other than remembering that you are already connected to God. Now, the second part of your question regarding some of these religious leaders that are close to Trump that are giving him bad advice, um, I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about that. It sounds like some of these religious leaders, could be working with the deep state, and I am sure Mr. T is fully aware of that. So I wouldn't really worry about that. And plus, he doesn't take advice from just anyone. Most of his advice comes from his counselors right above him, which are the white hat generals, believe it or not. No, I'm sorry. They are above the generals. They are above the generals. So the people that tell Trump what to do are above the generals. See, Trump is CIC. The generals are under Trump. But there is a level of intelligence above Trump. And those are the people that we don't see ever on the media. They never show themselves. Okay. These are people that operate fully from behind the scenes. Okay. They are literally living in underground, the ocean, right? They're living in Cheyenne Mountain. And in some cases, some of them are off-world lieutenants. That's the word I'm looking for. Off-world lieutenants that are part of the Solar Warden organization. So at the top of the White Hat infrastructure, we do have what is known as the positive SSP, Solar Warden.